bladder didn't really break. So something's coming out. But I'm at a 3. So, wow, this is dark. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be part 2 of the birth story. So where I left off, we had been admitted and I was contracting in bed at the hospital. And so at this point, it's about 3:30, maybe for triage and intake. Are they the same thing? Being admitted, it took about 30 minutes to an hour. And so once we got in there and everything, I was hooked up and we were just monitoring. It was just Matt and I for a while, and then my in-laws came just to kind of keep us company and to hang out and also to see her once she was born. So at this point I was at a 3-4 centimeter. Water had not broken, or at least they weren't sure yet. So a lot of it was I was laying on my side for about 30 minutes, and then I'd switch over or I'd sit up. Sitting up definitely was comfortable, and I don't know, whenever the contractions would hit, I would kind of rock side to side. I also had one of those labor balls, so I would get up and bounce on that, or Matt would help me put it on the bed, and I would kind of lean over it. So it was interesting. It was a nice delivery room.
I tell them, not written, but I tell them the business objective is to grow at 20%. And if that's not direct enough, and that means every territory's got to grow at 20%, or the ones that...
And so wasn't allowed to eat anything. I was on an IV and I could only eat drink small sips of water or eat ice chips. So it was kind of weird, like, getting up to pee a lot because I wasn't drinking anything, but because of the saline drip that I had, that was keeping me hydrated, so that was kind of weird. And the saline drip was definitely really cold in my hand. It really didn't heat up for a while, and whenever they switched the bag, it was just cold again. I did have some minor nausea, but a lot of the time it was when there was a big contraction, and my blood pressure would drop significantly, and then when the contraction was over, that is when I would feel nauseated. I never threw up. It was really just, there was nothing for me to throw up. It was a lot of just like slobber and saliva that would come out of my mouth, so it was just liquids. And it was actually pretty crazy to hear them coming because her heartbeat would speed up some, and then that's when I knew a contraction was coming, and that was kind of the crappiest thing of it all, is because you could hear it, and I was like, oh god, here it comes, and then I'd start to feel it. So that was kind of not very fun for me. So yeah, hearing them on the coming and then starting to feel them was not very fun. So not too much to report from that. They did kind of leave me alone every once in a while to like go get coffee or find something or just walk around. So that was kind of cool that I was left by myself sometimes. And then so right around 5:30 or 6 is when I started getting a bunch of calls. Not calls, but text messages from coworkers saying good luck, because they didn't know that I was in labor yet, but because I was supposed to be induced at 6 a.m. So they knew about that. So that was kind of cool. I was in the middle of labor, and they were like, hey, good luck. What? Oh. It's so much fussy. So yeah, I'd be by myself. A lot of it turned into a meditation because my plan was to not get any pain meds, no epidural, nothing. Medication free. I was offered like Zofran a few times because it helps with nausea, but I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want anything. I don't know what it could do to me. So at about 7, I got a new nurse for the next shift, and she was awesome. And she was very encouraging. Like, seriously, it was like having a birth coach there because Matt really didn't know what to do. And so, yeah, that was a lot of just being in pain. Labor does hurt. Contractions do suck. And the more your cervix opens up, the stronger they get, and the more it hurts. So at about when I got to, they checked me at maybe 7, and I was about a 6 or a 7, and they were able to fill my amniotic sac. So it was officially that my water had not broken. It could have leaked, but did not break at all. And that was about the time that they decided I was not going to be put on Pitocin, which was like huge. So I was not going to be induced because I was in full labor and I was doing it on my own. So that was something that I was so happy about, so proud of. Did not have to be induced because for whatever reason I was highly anxious about having to do that and didn't have to do it. So it's 6 or 7 centimeters and about 7 a.m., maybe even 5. A lot of the time I just lost track of time. My doctor came in and broke my water. And this is when we found out that because I was 41 weeks, Arya had her first poop inside of me, and so there was then a risk factor of her swallowing the meconium, which is the first poop. That's what it's called, because when they broke my water, it was brown, and that's kind of what shows that she had her first poop, and she was probably going to swallow it. So what they started doing was monitoring her heartbeat to see if she was in distress. So that kind of it's been almost 4 weeks, and it's still like I still get caught up with this to make sure that she wasn't in distress. And then my breathing during my contractions became even more important because that was the only way she was able to get air in. And so me breathing was a very big thing, especially if she had swallowed anything. That means it would get into her lungs. So I just vaguely remember them saying that because at this point I was just in a lot of pain. And so they were able to monitor my contractions and wait and tell me what was going on, and tell Matt, just let him know. So it was kind of hard. Like, I heard them, but I couldn't really focus on it because I was just like, I gotta get her out. So they broke my water, and that's when, oh my gosh, after they break your water, that is when it got really intense. That's when everything started moving really, 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 really fast. I would say probably, since I don't even know the times anymore, I just know she was born at 10:10 a.m., and I think I pushed actively for maybe an hour. They kept monitoring, and it came a point where I was like, I either need to poop or I need to push. And that's when they were like, oh, wow, okay, let me check. So they checked my cervix, and it was at an 8 or 9, and they were like, you're not ready yet. So they kept making me turn. I had to put the peanut between my knees. They did have somebody come in and stage all the delivery stuff. So basically they brought in the delivery table, and they got her warmer ready for when she was born, and everyone kind of became like on standby. And then not much later, I said it again, like I really wanted to push. And so she checked me, and she was like, you were at a 9.5, which I did not even know was a thing. And it was on my right side. So basically the cervix on my right side wasn't fully out of the way. So she rolled me back on my right side, and I just kept saying, I want to push, I want to push, I want to push. And so she was like, okay. So she called my doctor over their intercom, their little radio thing. And she was like, she's at a 9, but going on to a +1, +2. And I was just like, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? So, yeah, my doctor came in, and the worst part is I was already on my right side. So what they had to do is I had to, at, about ready to push a baby out, had to lift myself up and move back onto my back. I had to scoot down. I had to move around. I don't remember what they were doing. I just know that I was having to move, and it was hurting a lot. So they came in and put the stirrups up, and we started. It was a very intense time. So that'll be part 3, will be the delivery, because she's getting really active right now, and I need to go be a mom. But yeah, look for part 3. It should be up pretty soon. Getting really good at putting these out. So thanks.